Hello. I want to talk to you today a little bit about the course information tab. It is very helpful in learning how to use the website. Schoolhouseteachers.com has a lot of good ways to get organized. So we're going to look at it today. This is part one of the course information. We're going to look at how to begin. And we're going to find this under the planning section. See here, course information. That's where I am. And the first tab, how to begin. First, we're going to plan. Browse the courses. Now, if you've been watching, there's many ways to do that. You can browse by grade or you can browse by subject, and it goes through all of the classes that we have on schoolhouseteachers.com, and there's over 350 now, so there's quite a few. Now, after you make your selection, and you can do that using the bookmark feature, there's another video about how to do that. You can, if you want to, create a schedule for each of your children. We have something called a schedule builder, and you can customize it to kind of keep your kids organized, for them to see how you want them to do their schoolwork. So let's look at a sample here. You can do a weekly schedule or you can do a 9-week schedule. We're going to look at a weekly schedule. This is a made-up student, and it has the weekly schedule. See, on Thursday there's co-op classes, so there's nothing scheduled here. But if you would like on Monday to have some time with your student, it has it in there. So it tells you what the student needs to do every day. This is something the parent plans for the student. See, there's Bible, math, language arts, history, geography, social studies, science, and then other. So the mom has picked out the courses, and so she wants once a week for the child to do the apologetics, creation versus evolution, and then 3 times a week for the parent and child to do some Bible study together. Now, the child's doing Algebra 2, so that's written down here. For math and language arts, she has daily journaling, keeping, and daily writing class. For history, geography, she has paired up the Drive Through History America and the Everyday Explorers USA. Those two would work really well together. And then for science, the student is doing botany. And for electives, they're doing digital art on Monday and Wednesday and cooking on Tuesday and Friday. So there's just an example. If your student is very visual, they can look at their week and say, these are the things that I need to do for the week, and this is the days that I need to do them on. Now, if we go back to our course information here, you can also look at the scope and sequence. That might help you determine what classes you want your child to take. And here is, you can find it under resources. No, I'm sorry, planning, scope and sequence right there. You can download the whole thing here, but basically you can search by grade or you can search by subject. Now, I've already, let's just pretend you have a 5th grader and you want to find out what they need to be learning in science. So here are the traditional things that a 5th grader needs to learn that year in science: life science, earth science, physical science. And then we have listed what we have available on schoolhouseteachers.com. These links take you directly to the classes, so you don't have to search anymore for them. Here's the things we have in Daily Discoveries. Of course, there's some things in the World Book. There's also things for physical science. Now, Introduction to Physics, that's 18 weeks long, so you could do that plus a couple of 4-week lessons, and you'd pretty much have your whole year planned out there. There's stuff on the scientific method, and here's a whole list of additional science resources. Chemistry help if you want them to dabble in a little bit of chemistry. There's also science experiments. There's 100 easy science experiments with Jason Lindsay, and that would be great for kids who love to do that. So if we go back here to our course information, so now that we've planned, we figured out which courses we want our kids to take, we've made a schedule builder, they have a plan of what they need to do and when they need to do it. Next, we're going to prepare. Now, some of our classes have lesson plans. You don't necessarily have to use them. Some of them are set up very easily where you could just follow along, and like the history ones that I wrote, it's done by days and weeks, and so you just follow along in the course. Some of them have lesson plans. It tells you what to read on every day and what you need to print out for every week. So if you are detail oriented like that, you can choose that. But you don't have to use the lesson plans. Those are optional. You can also feel free to make your own. All of this is up to you. Choose your class, choose your lesson plan. You have the freedom. Now the third step here is to learn. That's the biggest part of this section here. Some of the courses have PDF files you can download on your computer if you're worried about the internet connection every day, or mine just sit with their laptops and do their lessons and read straight from the laptops, just whatever format you want to use. Some of them can be printed. Some of ours we choose to read from the laptops, and then they have notebooks where they write the answers to the questions. And progress is the next step. If you're using the lesson plans that we've created, they have little boxes for you to check so you can see how far you've been, how far you need to go, what else you need to do. Now, another interesting thing here is that you can document all this with our Apple Core system. And we're going to take a quick look at that. There is a tutorial on here that would be very good for you to watch. I've done this with my oldest child, made her transcripts this way. You go through and you make a title, and then you tell what grade, and you go through and pick if you want to write the textbook. It also gives you you select a category and you select the course, so it writes it all down, and on the next line it'll tell you how many semesters, how many credits it would be for. So that kind of does the work for you. Just put it all in, and it makes a nice little neat sheet for you with the grades and what classes they've taken. The silver plan has the course tracker, the grade reporting, report cards. You can use things for the portfolio, and it tracks attendance if you live in a state that needs to do that. If you want to pay a little bit extra for the gold, it has a couple of other little features in there that would be helpful. The transcript feature is available only with the gold membership. Okay, so if we go back up to course information, after we document all that, you can also choose to just keep a record book on your own if you want to. The next thing, if your kids like to a sense of completion, a sense of what they've done, and to look back at what they've done, you can print a certificate for all the classes that they do. Here is all the certificates that we have. You fill out the class that they've taken, and here's one of the big ones. You put their name in, and you put their date, and you put the class, and you can keep that in their portfolio or something, and it kind of helps them keep track of what they've accomplished. So that is part one. I'm going to make a part two and with the other steps here, but that is how to begin with schoolhouseteachers.com. Once you learn how to do it, it's very easy, very simple, and very organized. Thank you for joining me today.